Well, hello, everyone. I want to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Lisa Kim. I am the Assistant City Manager and the Community and Economic Development Director for the City of Garden Grove. And today we want to present a business resource webinar for our local business community that highlights available funding and programs that are available for your small business. I'd like to take a moment and provide some self-introductions of our panel for our Garden Grove Business Resource webinar today. Christopher Lorenzana, Deputy Director with the U.S. Small Business Administration, followed by Mike Daniel, our Regional Director with the Small Business Development Center with the Orange County and Inland Empire Network, and myself, Lisa Kim, the Assistant City Manager for the City of Garden Grove, overseeing our Office of Economic Development. Christopher, could you share some background and introduction?
Lisa, thank you for inviting the SBA to participate in this webinar and to provide information and the latest updates on the various business resources available to small businesses. Again, my name is Christopher Lorenzana. I'm the Deputy Director for the SBA in this region that covers all of Orange County and the Inland Empire.
Thank you, Christopher. Mike, could you share a few words with self-introduction with your role with the Small Business Development Center?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Lisa. My name is Mike Daniel, and I'm the Regional Director for the Orange County Inland Empire Small Business Development Center. We are hosted at Cal State Fullerton, and we are funded by the Small Business Administration, and our role is to offer one-on-one assistance to business owners whether they're starting, growing, or exiting their business. And we have a team of 100+ consultants that are all here to assist you. The best part about our program is that we've already been funded by the SBA, the state of California, and several others, so there's no cost to the end user to utilize our services.
Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Mike, for your introductions. I'm going to turn over our first presentation about business resources to Christopher.
Thank you, Lisa. Yes, I think I will share the screen because I'd like to drive people to this particular section of our website. Thank you again, Lisa, and thank you to the City of Garden Grove for this opportunity to allow the SBA to provide information to your residents and your business owners. And I just want to preface it up front with the fact that information is changing sometimes by the hour. And so as of April 13th, Monday, 2:30 p.m., this is the latest information that we have. Our nation's small businesses are facing an unprecedented economic disruption due to the COVID-19 outbreak. On Friday, March 27th, the President signed into law the CARES Act, which contains approximately $376 billion in relief for American workers and small businesses. We want to underscore the fact that the SBA and our partners are here to help you overcome the challenges created by this crisis. In addition to the traditional SBA funding programs, the CARES Act established several new temporary programs to address the COVID-19 outbreak, and we offer multiple funding options for those seeking relief. The first program I'd like to discuss is the SBA's Economic Injury Disaster Loan, otherwise known as EIDL. And so let me show a document that has been helpful for us to share information about this program. The EIDL provides vital economic support to small businesses to help overcome the temporary loss of revenue that they are experiencing as a result of COVID-19. The program is for any small business with less than 500 employees, including sole proprietorships, independent contractors, and self-employed persons, eligible private nonprofit organizations, or 501c19 veteran organizations. In a recent update, the SBA also announced that faith-based organizations are eligible to receive SBA funding regardless of whether or not they provide secular social services. The application for the EIDL is open until December 31st of this year. Let me go over some general overall loan terms. The loan amount for the EIDL is up to a total of $2 million. The terms are either 15 or 30 years. The interest rate for small business owners is 3.75% and 2.75% for eligible nonprofits. And proceeds may be used for working capital and a variety of other expenses, including payroll costs, salaries, sick leave, rent, mortgage, etc. The only place to apply for this loan is directly on the SBA website at covid19relief.sba.gov. And allow me to put the URL here, covid19relief.sba.gov. Now, for those folks that are listening that applied through a previous portal, on March 30th, the SBA launched this new streamlined portal, and our recommendation is that anyone that applied prior to March 30th, that they go back into this new streamlined portal directly at this URL and apply again. They will not lose their place in line, but what it does is it provides them an opportunity to be considered for a program that came about as part of the CARES Act called the EIDL Advance. And let me show what that would look like in the application portal. This is a part of the EIDL application that you will find when you reach step 4, substep 8. And this is the box that you would check if you would like to be considered for an EIDL advance of up to $10,000. If you applied for the EIDL loan prior to March 30th, our strong recommendation is that you enter into this EIDL portal again, the new portal, and reapply for the EIDL loan. You will not lose your place in line, but because of the CARES Act that made the EIDL Advance a new program, you will be able to request an advance of up to $10,000. We are describing this amount of funding as an immediately forgiven loan, so you will not be required to pay this amount back. We're getting a lot of questions as to how the amount is determined, and it is based on a totality of circumstances, including the number of pre-disaster employees taken into account. I'd like to share another URL to discuss the other parts of the program that the SBA is managing that came through as a result of the CARES Act. So let me share that website now. Okay, so now you should be seeing a screen directly off of the SBA website.
Mm-hmm.
I want to direct people to how they can find out about all of these programs, and more importantly, stay up to date with the most accurate and timely information. So if you were to go directly to the SBA.gov site and click here on Learn More about business resources available, that would take you to this link where you can click to learn more about coronavirus funding options. Let me discuss for a moment the Paycheck Protection Program, because that's another major program from the CARES Act. The Paycheck Protection Program is a loan designed to provide a direct incentive for small businesses to keep their workers on the payroll. SBA will forgive loans if all employees are kept on the payroll for 8 weeks after the first disbursement of the PPP loan, and the money is used for payroll, rent, mortgage interest, or utilities. Now, the percentage allocation for payroll should be at least 75% funds directly used for in order to have your loan forgiven. Payroll protection program can be applied for at any SBA lender that is making PPP loans. Communities are making PPP loans is constantly increasing, and the district office is maintaining a list of lenders that are making loans, and so the district office is trying to keep a very up-to-date list for that. Other regulated lenders will be available to make these loans once they're approved and enrolled in the PPP program. I would recommend that you start with your lender of record of who you do business with and contact the district office or the SBDC if you are looking for other PPP lenders in the community. I'd like to go over some of the information that's on this website because many of the questions can be answered simply by reading through the information that's available here. I'd like to highlight first the frequently asked questions for borrowers and lenders. As you'll see, this one is effective April 8th. We just received a new FAQ as of April 13th that will be posted to the website shortly, but this is where people will find the latest FAQs on this program. Another important link here is the PPP borrower application form, which you can find at this link. And as you can see, the borrower application form that has been created for this program is literally one page. And our district office and the SBDC can help guide you with the calculation. There are several ways that you can calculate payroll costs depending on what type of a business you are, but the calculation is pretty straightforward. It takes into account your average monthly payroll for the last 12 months, and you would multiply that by, you divide that by 12, obviously, then multiply that by 2.5, and it would give you a figure, and that would be the amount that you are eligible for a PPP loan. So it's pretty straightforward, but our intent in sharing this link is for borrowers to become more familiar with what the lender will be asking from them. The last link on here that I would really like to highlight is the interim final rule. So this gives pretty straightforward answers to some questions and shows different examples of what payroll costs, what the calculations would look like. And I've found it to be very helpful for businesses to sort of get information straight from the source. This is literally where the lenders are getting a lot of their guidance as to what they can and what they cannot include in the loan to the business. So our goal is to educate the borrower as much as possible by putting this information on our website. Let me quickly go over two other programs that are available for business owners that may not be getting as much attention, but I think that they should. So one of them is the Express Bridge Loan Pilot Program. This allows a small business who currently has a business relationship with an SBA Express lender to access up to $25,000 fairly quickly in a matter of days. And the idea here is that they would get this loan, and when they receive the disaster loan, they could bridge this loan into the disaster loan, which has better terms. Okay, so it's important to remember that the Express Bridge Loan, if someone is not able to obtain an EIDL loan, they will, but they've received an Express Bridge Loan, they will remain with the Express Bridge Loan and the terms of this loan. If they're successful in obtaining an EIDL loan, then they will be able to bridge the terms of this loan into a disaster loan. But on that note, I will tell you that SBA has made a number of changes over the last few weeks to greatly increase the number of applicants for the disaster loan that will successfully receive that loan. So quite honestly, I don't see much of an issue with people obtaining EIDL loans. Let me click on this link because once again, in the interest of showing people directly where they can get facts on these various programs, if they were to click here on this PDF link, it's the program guide for the Bridge Pilot Program. And it answers a lot of the questions that we've been hearing on our daily calls, like which lenders are authorized to make this loan, what are the terms of the loan, what are the conditions, etc. So once again, just a very direct source to get the facts on this program. Okay, let me go back and cover, hopefully the screen is moving along with me. The last program I'd like to discuss before I get into how a business in Garden Grove can stay up to date with everything going on related to SBA is the SBA debt relief. So I'm going to read it right here because it's fairly straightforward. As part of SBA's debt relief efforts, the SBA is also automatically paying the principal, interest, and fees of current 7A, 504, and microloans for a period of 6 months. On top of that, the SBA will also automatically be paying the principal, interest, and fees of these loans for new loans that are issued prior to September 27th, 2020. In addition, for anyone that has an existing disaster loan for some other physical disaster over the last couple of years, we've had other physical disasters in our region. The SBA is deferring automatically payments through December 31st, 2020. So there's a number of pieces of information here that I won't get into. But again, all of this information is directly on the SBA website at sba.gov and by clicking the red Learn More button here. Now, quickly, I'm going to transition over to how you can stay up to date with everything related to SBA in this region. We should be at the Orange County Inland Empire District Office homepage. Are we able to see that? Okay. So one quick way for folks to get on our email updates is to go to the district office homepage, which you can get to by typing in sba.gov/ca/Santa. And if you scroll down to email updates, you can click right here, get email updates. You'll simply enter in your email address and you will be entered into our database. And every time we send out an email, it will arrive into your inbox. So that's one quick and easy way. The other way, well, before I go over to the other way, let me show you another piece of information that businesses have been very interested in. I mentioned earlier the list of PPP lenders. There are a number of them, dozens of them throughout the community that are lending, but we know that business owners are sometimes coming up against obstacles with some of the lenders, whether the lender is limiting their PPP activity to only existing lenders, etc. We want to show you what the district office has put together. I'm sorry, so let me go here. Paycheck Protection Program lenders, non-clients. If you click here, we're constantly updating this list. But the idea of this list is that the SBA office has contacted the executives at each of these lenders and confirmed that they are making PPP or taking PPP applications from individuals without a requirement of an existing banking relationship. And as soon as we hear from enough members of the community that these lenders are no longer doing that, we remove the lender from this list. And so once again, this is not the full list of SBA lenders in our community, but it's simply the list of folks that we've been able to confirm via phone that are open to taking on new PPP clients. Okay, the last piece of information I'd like to share is on our Twitter handle. For those folks that are on Twitter, you can find us at SBA_OCIE. And this is another great place to stay up to date with everything that's going on with SBA here in the Orange County Inland Empire region. With that, I'd like to turn it over back to Lisa, and I thank you for the time.
Thank you so much, Christopher. What a wealth of knowledge that we can share with our local Garden Grove business community. I know that there's been numerous questions posed by the business community about EIDL and the PPP loans, and I appreciate you walking through in great detail about how to apply for each of the loans, what are some of the typical FAQ questions that are asked by the business community, and this has been extremely helpful. I'm excited to have Mike Daniel with the Orange County Inland Empire Network to share a few of those resources with us today.
Thank you so much, Lisa. My name is Mike Daniel, and I'm the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center of Orange County Inland Empire. And so a little bit about us and what we do. So we are the Small Business Development Center. We have over 1,000 locations throughout the country. In Orange County Inland Empire, we have 8 centers that are all hosted out of Cal State Fullerton, Rancho Santiago Community College District, the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, UC Irvine and UC Riverside, the County of Riverside, and several others. We provide one-on-one consulting. So our number is at the bottom of the slide, 1-800-616-7232. Or you can go to our address at OCIE-smallbusiness.org. You give us a call, and within 24 hours, we will have a live voice helping you through whether it be the EIDL loan, the Paycheck Protection Program, or anything else that you may need. But before we get started, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. So I also own a couple Rocky Mountain chocolate factories and a Sugar Daddy sweet shop in Long Beach. And, that's obviously a better picture than if you saw me in live person right now. So we'll start with that. And if you are going to look up Sugar Daddy sweet shop, I'm going to use the same joke I use all the time. Make sure you type in Sugar Daddies and sweet shop, because if you just type in Sugar Daddies, you're going to get pictures that you don't want to show anybody else. So with that, about 4 weeks ago, this is what one of my locations looked like. We were up 55% for the months of January and February. And we were doing really well, getting ready for really to push into the summer months, which is our busiest time. And then all of a sudden COVID-19 hit, and then we were really unsure of whether we were essential or non-essential. And, I just felt that, for chocolate stores and candy stores, the last thing I wanted to do is put my employees at risk. So we decided to shut down. And so this is what one of my stores looks like now. So I had to lay off 25 people, and, we're just, trying to figure everything out, trying to figure out what all these programs are. And so I completely understand exactly where you're at. So with that, I really want to go through a couple things with you today of, the available options for you and how to address those, what to do with your employees, and what's the best option for both your business to survive, as we're in a changing time that we, none of us really understand when we're going to come back and be able to reopen. What can we do to take care of our employees? I know that they're like our families, right? So it's hard to understand what to do with them. So, I want to make sure that you're doing what's best to survive now and then reopen, or if you're working off of a skeleton crew, how do we get back up and how do we open up this economy and get back to business? And then a couple of things as you prepare to reopen if your business happens to be closed. So with that, just 3 really quick and easy things that you should be doing. First thing is negotiating your lease with your landlord. If you haven't already done that, you should either be offering or asking for an abatement or a deferment. Abatement would be reducing the amount that you owe, or deferring it off to, to another point in time when your business is back open, or when you're operating at, with higher revenues, so that you have the option and the opportunity to actually, be viable again. For me, like my landlord was not willing to negotiate in April, so I did pay the rent in April in 2 of my stores. But the hope is that come May, they're going to want to have that conversation, or they're willing to have that conversation again, whether it be deferment or abatement. If you're not sure how to have that conversation, or you're not sure what letters look like, sending them to your landlord, that's where we can help you write those letters, prepare for those negotiations, whatever it might be. Keep in mind, your landlords also have bills, and for some of them, they have property bills that for the location that you sit in, so they have to pay them as well. So I think having that conversation and building that relationship is key. Another thing, existing loans. So if you have an existing loan, whether it be an SBA loan or another type of loan, to call your lender and ask them to defer the payments. So most lenders are willing to defer a payment for 90 days just by the call. So have that conversation and have that call, and most likely they'll push it back for 90 days, which will give you some room to have some additional cash flow. And then the last thing is insurance. So on your liability policy, if you have it, which most businesses do carry liability insurance, you might also have something called business interruption or business income insurance. And so what that covers is it's supposed to cover a government shutdown, or if a virus hits. You might not know if you have it or not. Bring it to me and I'll help you understand it and help you read through it. If you do have it, you want to file a claim. And so to file a claim is pretty straightforward. You can either call your agent and they'll file a claim for you, or you can go online. Like I have a much larger insurance company. I filed the claim in about 2 minutes. Now, I did receive within an hour a form letter that said I was denied because it's a pandemic that supersedes all of this. But just so you're aware, there is a lawsuit, and there's going to be several lawsuits against these insurance companies to cover this. And so it's already been sent up to the Insurance Commissioner of California. And so my suggestion is at least or file a claim and see what happens. If you don't file a claim and there's a lawsuit and there's some settlement in 2 or 3 years, had you not filed a claim, you're not going to receive anything. If you do file a claim and there is some kind of settlement, you will receive a portion of that, or what's owed and paid to, or owed and due to you. And there will be no increase in the amount of your insurance by filing a claim. It's just a real simple, easy procedure. My suggestion is to do it and see what happens. So with that, I want to go through just a couple things. There's a stimulus and SBA loan, and it's all about the EIDL loan, the PPP program, and the debt relief program, and how to apply. We can help you with that one-on-one. We'll walk you through it. We also do a daily webinar at 3:00 every single day, just going through the nuts and bolts of the applications, what they look like. And so does the SBA. I know the SBA has a 10:00 and a 4:00 daily webinar. So there's plenty of information out there of kind of walking people through it so they understand it. Another piece would be traditional and local governments. The city of Garden Grove has their own loan program. We will help you package that and prepare it with the city. So we'll do a lot of the work with you so that you're prepared, so that if this funding is available to you, it'll be a streamlined process and quick and easy and painless. There are crowdfunding sites coming on board, whether it be GoFundMe or Kickstarter or Kiva. There's a whole bunch of programs that might avail themselves to you. And then the last thing, something that I would usually never talk about with our clients, is credit cards. Usually those are the death of most businesses. But in times like this, it's survival. So we have a host of credit cards that we have information on that offered 0% interest for 12 months. My only suggestion, and I would warn you with this, is if you don't pay it within 12 months, it jumps up to about a 30% interest rate and it goes backwards. So all of that comes due and payable, and it's going to be almost impossible to pay it off if you don't pay it off within those first 12 months. So if that is an option or something that you want to look into, I will help you, but I want to walk you through and pencil it out of what that's going to look like if you don't, or if you're unable to pay it within 12 months. So those are a couple things that we can do with you. And so I'm going to skip through a lot of these programs that were already discussed, and I want to get right down to of your employee information. So most of your employees, if you still have them, you can go to a work share program where you don't have to have them full time. You can have them 50% of the time, 25% of the time. We can help walk you through that. All of this comes through the EDD, or our Employment Development Department. And so disability insurance, paid family leave, paid sick leave. And there's a brand new program that just came out from the federal government that gets pushed to the EDD, and it's called Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. And so what that will allow is for your employees, whether you're an independent contractor, sole proprietor, you're taking a draw, all these different things, you will qualify for this. And this is $600 a week for a specified period of time, but that's still going to go through the EDD. So these are all things that are available to you, and we can help you and walk you through some of these options for you and your employees. And then last thing, if your business is closed or you're working on a skeleton crew, I really want you to start thinking, now's an opportunity to really start to rethink your business, rethink what's going to happen, and anticipate, new customer norms. I mean, customers might have come in a certain way, been able to touch things, been able to give handshakes or whatever that might be close together. You might have a tight store location. Kind of think through and reimagine what your business could be. Because like for me, we let our customers grab fudge, grab candy, bring it up to the counter. That might not be acceptable, when we're able to reopen. We're trying to rethink what that structure looks like. The other thing is there's a lot of technology companies that are offering a lot of things, whether it be Google, Etsy, Square, you have all these delivery services for food. Really start to understand some of these technologies that are free right now, that are available to your business to help it grow once you open. What we want to do is we want you to hit the ground running versus trying to figure it out once day one opens and the economy opens up again. A couple other things, talk to your employees, maybe redo some of these, what employees are supposed to be doing in your business. Give them new tasks, new jobs, set up better customer service skills and programs. And then the last thing is to really understand your marketing, whether it's social, digital. Maybe you're not doing any of that. And I just want to give you a quick example that I found to be an amazing example of a company. So my dry cleaner, they've had to close down, but they've done a really good job of continually staying in front of me and said, here's how you can repress your pants so that they look fresh, even though they're not fresh, for the second wear, or here's how you can clean your comforter. They've just done a really good job of staying in front and knowing that at some point I'm going to have to come back or my habits might change, but they're doing a good job of keeping in front of me, giving me tips and suggestions. And I'm going to guarantee that, when we're able to go back to business and open up our businesses, they're going to send me, whether it be a coupon or just ways of communicating to come back. And if things that you should be doing right now in your business, but two, there's probably a lot of businesses that haven't even captured that type of data to have that relationship. Let us help walk you through some of those things. We will help you with all of those different things. So in a nutshell, that's why we exist. We're here to help you through the EIDL loan, the PPP loan, the Garden Grove City loan, helping you reimagine your business. But, contact us. That's what we're here for. Survive right now, and then hopefully we're all going to thrive in a month or two. So with that, I'm going to leave it. And thank you again, Lisa, for including me. And, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Mike, so much. I appreciate all the information that you shared. I think reimagining your business as we come out of this unprecedented, challenging situation is a great way to share your SBD support of helping our small business community come out of this stronger. So I really appreciate that. I'm going to walk us through the next discussion. We'll focus on some efforts currently underway in the city of Garden Grove for our business community. So I'm going to I want to talk a little bit about the city of Garden Grove Business Resource and Resiliency Plan. And essentially, it's a comprehensive action plan of the economic development initiative underway to support and safeguard our business community. There are 4 primary focus areas that this particular document is comprised of. It provides a summary and a recap of immediate actions currently undertaken by the city. It also identifies some community development actions that are in process. We also provide a comprehensive clearinghouse of business resources, of which much of the information that Christopher with SBA has just recently summarized is also included. And alongside that, you know, as we shift into recovery and resiliency, we have also provided a business startup guide for our businesses as well. More briefly, the information that has been shared by Christopher with SBA, we have also provided a one-stop shop, essentially a business resource toolkit on the coronavirus webpage on the city's main webpage at ggcity.org. As you can see, the references to the EIDL loan, the EIDL loan advance, the PPP loan program, along with the Express Bridge loan, one click. This would also provide you direct access to all the information that Christopher has shared. In addition, there's a scrolling up-to-date information about additional webinars hosted through the Small Business Development Center, through SCORE, to provide additional resources to our business community. As part of the resiliency plan, we want to hear from our local business community, and we are launching this week a COVID-19 business survey that is to gather information from our business constituents as to how the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted your particular business at a local level. We are looking to our manufacturing, our retail, our small business community to provide us information about how this has affected your business operation, number of jobs that have been impacted as a result. Have you shifted your operation and your hours of operation? Are you looking to reopen when this crisis concludes? Or are you looking to retool and revamp your business model in a different way? So our goal is to receive direct feedback from our business community to ensure any of the additional economic development efforts that we bring forward is responding to our business community. Are you receiving the information that is available on the city's website as it relates to business resources? Are they helpful for you? Are there additional resources that you are looking for? And so the purpose of our business survey is to gather that feedback. Something to also note, City Hall is still open for business via a virtual public service counter. For those construction activities that are deemed essential services, we are currently providing virtual inspections, and this could be accommodated through a request through our Building and Safety Division, where a virtual live inspection is requested. And this provides you a resource and a detail of how to request that type of activity. We are also in the process of updating our city's small business assistance program. This is different than what the program is provided under the CARES Act. Essentially, the city has an existing SBA loan program over the last 3 years that provides for SBA loan of up to $25,000 for job creation. Given the circumstances surrounding COVID-19 and the impacts to our local job community, we are in the process of modifying the guidelines to focus on job retention priorities. The focus is primarily to support our small business and retain local jobs in Garden Grove. We are also in the midst of streamlining this SBA application, and that would be via an online portal that will be live by the end of this month to track the application process. The SBA loan that is currently in modification will be structured as a forgivable loan. Staff recommendation at this point in time is to increase the loan amount from $25,000 up to $50,000. Please keep an eye out for additional information as the forgivable SBA loan is rolled out to assist local Garden Grove businesses with job retention priorities. In addition, this program will be funded through the CARES Act through CDBG funds. It is a one-time appropriation in which potentially up to $750,000 will be available to fund this program. This is something that is currently in the works, and we anticipate it to roll out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. In addition, one of the focus areas is essentially a clearinghouse of business resources that's available through the state, federal, county, and local levels, in addition to the information that has been provided by Mike and Christopher via SBA and the SBDC. We have also provided additional resources for our employers and our employees, and part of the resiliency plan provides a breakdown of all those resources by the respective jurisdictions. Lastly, I spoke briefly about this via the modifications that are underway to our SBA loan program. Under the CARES Act, the city is in the process of receiving one-time CDBG and emergency solution grant funds. Approximately $1.2 million from the CDBG funds would be earmarked for administration, small business support for job retention, and expanding our Meals on Wheels program to support individuals impacted by COVID-19. Under the ESG funds or emergency solution grants, we are in the process of programming these funds for administration, homelessness outreach and prevention, in addition to rapid rehousing and rental assistance programs for our individuals impacted by COVID-19. In closing, I do want to once again thank Christopher and Mike for both of your time and your wealth of knowledge, your technical expertise in providing resources to our small business community, not only in Garden Grove, but in Orange County and the Inland Empire area, has been tremendously valuable, and we thank you from the City of Garden Grove for your continued support of our business community. Lastly, I do want to encourage our small business community, our residents, to shop local, buying Garden Grove. We have on our city website an updated listing of all restaurants that are currently operating and providing takeout and delivery service. So we encourage our local community to continue to buy in Garden Grove, and we thank you for your time.